Hey everybody, it's Tracy from Downward Dog Rising. Please excuse the last video. I was just having fun. The beats of the song got to me and I started moving. I don't know how to salsa, so disregard that. And if you had a good laugh, then all the better. That's what the intention was, to make you laugh. Okay, so let's work on our yoga splits and our flexibility and our hamstrings and our hip flexors. So in order to do a split, I'm gonna just warm you up a little bit to get ready. So if you want to know how to do a split, then let's begin. Join me. Okay, we're gonna go on all fours. Tighten your abdominals all the way to your back. Find neutral spine. Maybe do a couple cat-cows. Tailbone down. Inhale, stretches long. Exhale, scoop abdominals in. Head away from tailbone. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more. Now from here, hip points tighten across. You're going to lift arm and leg opposite directions and just hold it here. Now you're going to tap your toes, tap fingers to mat, lift up, tighten core to spine. Keep your little length in your back. 8, 7, work your back extensors, hip extensors. 6, 5, 4, and 3. 2 more. Hold it here. Now just little pulses. 10, 9, 8, and 7, 6, 3, and 2. Last one. Come in. Keep lifting abdominals to your back. Switch sides. Hold it here for a moment. Extend. Tap fingers and toes down and lift up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, tighten core to low back, 5, and 4, 3, 2, keep neutral spine. Last one. Pulse, 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 pulse. And 5, and 4, and 3, and 2. Last one. Good job. Now from here, maximal length in your back and your spine. Curl the toes under. Tighten your core to your back. Anchor your shoulder blades down your back. Lift up your knees. Press back into your downward dog. Stretch apart. Feel like that tailbone lengthens to the ground. Stretch apart. Breathing in, breathing out. Pull your sternum, breastbone forward and through. Slowly bend the knees. We're going to sit back, hips over heels. Stretch armpits into the floor. Reach to the palms. Pull breastbone forward and stretch your sits bones backwards behind you. Pull your spine long in opposition. Take 3 deep inhales into your low back. Pull apart. Get that low back to pull in 2 different directions. Create some space, some length. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Walk in. All fours. Tighten core to spine. Curl toes under. Lift up knees. Drop your hips back. Little downward dog. Stretch and walk it out. Move hips a little bit. Starts to stretch. Stretch your hips out. Breathing in, breathing out. Good job. And 5, and 4, 3, and 2. Last one. Awesome. Take right foot in between the 2 hands. We're going to go into our lunge, Anjaneyasana. So you're just going to hold a lunge. Then what I want you to do is root down, rise up. I'll go into a low lunge because I'm going to go out of view. And then we're going to sit back through hip and heel. So we're going to sit back. What I want you to do, your straight leg, that hip pulls back, and then the bent knee side pulls forward to level out your pelvis, and then you're going to hip hinge over your leg, and breathe. Now we're going to shift forward into a low lunge. Tighten your core to your spine. Your front knee is going to be right over your ankle. Scoop core tight. Shift your weight back. Remember, hinge from hips so you don't bend from your spine. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe flex your foot. One more time, you're going to come forward. You want your pelvis to pull forward, tailbone long. Feel how it stretches through the front of this hip and thigh. This front knee is just right over your ankle. Breathe in, breathe out, lift chest to sky, open shoulders, chest. Really lengthen up, spine is long. Shift your weight back. Again, straight leg pulls back, bent knee side pulls forward, aligned pelvis. Now really stretch your breastbone forward as you hinge over the front of your leg. Keep back long. Avoid rounding from the middle part of your spine. We don't want to round our thoracic spine. We want to keep the length. Breathing in, breathing out. Abdominals just streamline into your back. One more deep inhale. Slowly press up, come into all fours. Okay, now we're going to switch sides. You're going to take your opposite leg in between the two hands, and we're just going to come up into a lunge for a second, because I want to do the same on each side. Tighten core to spine, tailbone long, going out of your view for a second. Fold the back knee, hip bones come forward, Anjaneyasana. So we went from high lunge into a low lunge. You're going to get this hip flexor back here to stretch, and then you're going to feel these glutes down here. Now slowly shift your weight backwards. You want this straight leg side, pull that hip back. The bent knee side, pull that one forward so you keep your hip alignment. Straight line across your two hip bones. Stay here and breathe. Keep the spine reaching long. The music is from a DJ locally in town here. His name's DJ Bongiovanni, and he did a mix. So if you're wondering where the music comes from, it's a local DJ. Back hip pulls forward, straight leg hip pulls back. Slowly going to shift forward, lengthen up, reach to top of head, deep inhale, deep exhale, spine is long. Anjaneyasana. Lengthen up and gently shift pelvis back. Extend that front leg. Maybe you'll flex your foot. Remember, hip hinge. We don't want to round our middle back. Keep the length. Breathing in and breathing out. Pull breastbone, sternum forward and through. One more time, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Shift your weight forward. Front knee is just right over that ankle. Tailbone long. Lengthen up to top of head. Spine elongates. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Core is strong. Gently shift your weight back. Shift pelvis straight back. Breastbones long. Feel the crease right there, differentiating thigh from hip socket. Now pull your breastbone forward, hip hinge, and just enjoy that stretch. Flex your foot. Get those hamstrings to lengthen out. Breathing in, really stretch that spine. One more deep inhale to the low back. Feel back of thigh lengthen. And slowly, we're going to take that leg straight down. Now, find your neutral again. So your spine is long. Tailbone stretches so we don't arch here. This part stays lengthened. And you just curl the toes under. And I just want you to hold a straight line for your plank. When you're in your plank, you don't want to sink into the wrists. So, your breastbone, lift your breastbone up so your two shoulder blades in your back widen. Lift out of those wrists. Extend legs long. Now, let your tailbone stretch long behind you and just hang out here for a little bit. One long line. Your hips are right under the line of your shoulders. Tighten your core to your back. And just stay here. Breathe. Pull your shoulder blades down the back to the back of your pelvis. Lift your breastbone forward and through. Feel the energy of your core lift up to top head, traveling up your spine. Energy of your core pulls into your center and it travels down the backs of your legs, your glutes, all the way down your calves into the balls of your feet, and you're firmly pressing the floor away, pressing your balls of your feet into the earth. Keep the length in your spine. Legs are long, active. Wring out the wet sponge, sides of waist. 4, breathe in, breathe out. 3, breathe in, breathe out, core is strong. 2, breathe in, breathe out, and gently bring knees down. Float those hips back right over your heels. Pull your sits bones behind you. Come into a little Balasana, rest pose. Feel a stretch across your upper mid back. If one hip feels tighter, reach those sits bones away from the back of your pelvis to pull the low back apart. That lumbodorsal fascia pulls apart, releasing. Deep inhale, deep exhale. 2 more deep inhales into the middle of your low back. One more deep inhale. And exhale. All right. Slowly come up to all fours. Take your feet, walk your feet through, and then just come and sit on your mat. Okay, now from here, what I want you to do, I'm going to have you take one leg out straight. Feel how your abdominals pull into your spine. And you're going to grab your ankle, and then I'm going to have you stretch your leg upwards to get behind the kneecap. And you're just going to stretch your legs straight to the sky if you can. Wherever you can, pull from the front into the low back, connect. 3, and 2. Last one. Stretch and reach. Release that leg so your sits bones are directly under your shoulders. Pull towards you. Modified, you would hold under the back of your thigh and just slowly start to extend. If the back of that thigh feels tight, do it like this and gradually loosen things up in there. So you're going to extend, core draws tight to low back. Come back, sit tall right on those sits bones. Extend, breathing in, exhale, extend. Inhale, exhale, reach. 2 more. Lift chest to sky. It's better to have a flat, neutral spine than it is to get your legs straight, just so you know. That's more important to have your spine elongate than it is to get your leg to lengthen. Now from here, shake out your knees for a second. And then if you have a blanket, you can roll up a yoga blanket, or any blanket for that matter. You could set it right under the knees to give your knees a little bit of support. And then what you would do is take your arms straight to sky, stretch upwards. Remember, we don't want to hurt our back, so we're going to hinge right there, right at that crease. Lift top of head, elongate forward. And then you're just going to hold it right here. Sink into the bottom of your pelvis. Stretch legs long. Lift to top ahead. You could flex your feet. Little caterpillar stretch. Reach for your ankles, your shins, maybe your lateral pinky toes, side. We're going to get those hamstrings to lengthen. Breathing in, breathing out. Stretch breastbone forward and through. Breathing in, breathing out. Flex your feet to increase the chain, the back chain along backs of thighs, calves, heels, Achilles tendons. Feel where the hamstrings insert right into your glutes. Soften into the stretch. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Go a little deeper if you can. One more deep inhale. And slowly we're going to lift up. Now, connect into your glutes. Feel mind, body. Engage gluteals. Pull into your core and lift and lengthen up to give firm support into the spine. And then to create length in your spine, open shoulders, chest. You're going to press and root down into those heels as your core deepens into your back. Lift your chest. Now I'm going to have you do a little reverse plank. You're going to elevate hips to sky. Really lift hip bones upwards. Engage glutes. Breathe in, breathe out. Look straight ahead. Collarbones wide. Press hips to sky. Feel those glutes. Lift and lengthen. Breathe in, breathe out. Lift. Scoop in. One more deep inhale. Lift a little higher. And gently come back down. Good job. Okay, next thing. Swing your legs behind you. Come all the way to your mat. Now what I want you to do here, I'm going to have you reach back. Open shoulder, chest. Grab your ankle. And then you're going to just gently start to lift and feel the front of that hip and thigh release. Relax your forehead and the back of your hand. And you're just going to keep that knee in line with your hip socket. Take 3 deep inhales here. Feel the front of that hip release. Spine is long, tailbone reaches long behind you. Flex your foot as you reach that ankle away from you. Feel that hip open. One more time, your abdominals lift into low back. Gently release. Extend that leg long. Fold the other leg in. Take your other hand, reach back. Now grab your ankle, flex your foot, rest your forehead on back of hand. Now without arching your back off the mat, make sure your pubic bone and your 2 hip bones fall deeper into the mat. They just sink right in as you press your foot into your hand. Protect your back. Breathing in and breathing out. Make sure equal weight is across each hip bone and front so you don't roll into half your pelvis. Tighten a line across the front of your 2 hip bones. Get that transversus abdominis to stabilize your pelvis into place. Breathe in, breathe out. Knee in line with hip socket. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Gently release. Take your hands straight out in front. Come up into a little seal. Your abdominal wall tightens into your back. Breathing in, breathing out. Create some space in your spine. Breathing in, breathing out. Neck is long. Tilt your chin slightly forward. Your abdominals streamline into your low back. Gently come down. Hip points, pubic bone are firm on your mat. We're going to reach back for bow posture. Grab your ankles. Open your shoulders and your chest. Now your hip bones, your pubic bone are firm in the mat, so we don't arch our back. We don't lift away from the mat. We sink deeper into it. and you really feel like your pubic bone is grounded, and you zip up to your sternum, your breastbone, creating length and support. Deep inhale. Now I want you to slowly press into your feet. Hands press into feet, open shoulders, chest, and feel the front of those hips open. And then you're relaxing those shoulders out of your ears, sides and neck are long, and just really expand into the sides of your ribs. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Let the front of those hips release, back is long, supported by your core. Inhale, exhale, chest is open. Chest is open. Heart opener. One more deep inhale. Slowly release. Now from here, press hands into mat, come up onto hands and knees. Now keep your abdominals really tight into your back. Hug your elbows into the sides of your waistline, into your rib cage, and you're going to do a little push-up. Exhale to lift. Inhale. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Tighten core to spine. 8. Chest is open. 7. Shoulders away from here. Spine is long. 6. Streamline. 5. You could do this on full plank if you like. 4. And 3. Tighten core to spine. 2 more. And last one. Good job. Now, from your push-ups, you're going to take your right foot through the 2 hands. And then from here, you're going to rock forward and back a few times. Forward and back. Forward, tighten your core to your spine, and back. So I just want you to get a little deeper into your hips, front hip flexor, psoas, back hamstring. 2 more. Rock forward and rock back. Now, as you rock forward, I'm going to have you slowly start to extend the front leg out. If you have a yoga block, I forgot to tell you this. Take your block, and what you could do, you could bring it right under your pelvis as a support system to bring the ground up to you. And then you make sure your 2 hips, they're straight leg side, pull that one back. Align the bent knee side straight ahead, tighten your core to your spine. And when you're ready, you're going to slowly shift the back leg out. Your hips are straight, and you could just sit on top of your yoga block if you like, to give you a little extra support. Breathing in, breathing out. Settle down, elongate up, and if you don't want to use the block, I'm just going to try to settle in. You could always bring your hands closer, more narrow together. Readjust hips and pelvis. I'm trying to get my hips to stay straight. Breathing in, breathing out. Soften into the stretch. So you're just keeping those hips straight. I don't have it in me today to hip hinge forward over the leg. Wherever you feel comfortable. If you wanted to, you could come all the way down. You could come down to your forearms, stay here. If you wanted to go further, you could just hip hinge all the way down. Scoop your core tight to your back for support. Today, this just feels right for me to stay up higher. And breathe. Remember to relax your shoulders. Feel how it starts to just loosen up all up this side here through those ribs, all the way down. Breathing in, breathing out. Settle into the stretch. With time, your body will adjust. One more deep inhale. Push into the hands, elevate, draw the front leg back. Come to your hands and your knees. Let's stretch our back out. Cat-cow. So just let that low back release, drop chin down, breastbone down, tailbone down. Now pull the breastbone forward and through the arms, stretch your tailbone away. Exhale, scoop it. Inhale, stretch apart. 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Now, keep a straight line from your hip joint to your knee joint. And I want you to stretch, 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 stretch. Really stretch all the way forward so that you can do extended puppy, melting heart. Pull those sits bones back behind you. Increase the length between middle back, between your blades, thoracic spine, all the way to the top of your head. Feel your sternum elongate. Reach those sits bones behind you. Get your low back to release. Inhale, exhale. Pull apart. Get the upper middle back to stretch. Bring your breastbone towards the mat. Stretch forward. Let's do one more deep inhale. Slowly walk your hands back. You're on all fours again. Find your neutral spine. Okay, now take a step with the left foot in between the 2 hands. Now you're going to slowly shift your weight forward. Slowly shift your weight back. Ardha Hanuman, the half split. So we're going to go into our full Hanumanasana, our divine monkey. So you're going to go forward, press your hips forward, gently shift your weight, your hips back, your weight shifts back. Inhale and exhale, hip hinge. 2 more. And exhale. One more time, breathing in. Core is tightening in to give your low back extra support. 1 more. Reach it back. Now slowly I want you to extend that front leg. Remember, straight leg, hip pulls back, bent knee side pulls forward. Walk your hands in a little closer together. Scoop your abdominals in. And you're going to slowly, maybe take your block, set your block under your pelvis. Give yourself a little support. Bring the floor up to you. This is actually my tighter side. Back, the top of your back foot rests on the mat. Your hips are forward. And just lengthen up here for a moment. Settle into the stretch. Tighten your core to your spine. Every inhale you take, think of lengthening upwards. Breathing in, breathing out. Once you feel the release, you can take out your support. Maybe for me, that is. This is my tighter side. I'm walking my hands a little closer. I'm not going to force anything. Breathing in, breathing out. Soften into it. You can come down to your forearms if you like. You can go all the way down, hip hinge. Breathing in, breathing out. I think I'll come back up. Yep, I'm going to stay here. Breathing in, breathing out. Oh boy, here comes that song. It's going to make me want to get up and dance again. Okay, I will save you from that again, okay? I'll only do that once. I won't do that again. It just made me want to move. I don't know how to salsa, so I apologize for any true salsa dancer out there. I don't mean to offend anyone. I was just having fun, moving. I should take lessons. I should take salsa lessons. That would be fun, actually, to learn how to salsa. Rise up, lengthen to top of head. Breathing in, breathing out. Let those hips release. Breathing in, starting to release. Kind of when you take your mind off of it, you forget how much it hurts, and then you stretch deeper. Breathing in, breathing out. Feel core tighten into low back. We're going to do one more deep inhale. Okay, bring your arms more narrow. Lift your pelvis off the mat. Tighten core in. You're going to walk that foot through. Now what I'm going to have you do here is just take your feet straight all the way through. Actually, I take that back. I want to do something for your feet. Curl the toes under. Sit back. And just take a second and stretch the balls of your feet for a moment. So you're just going to rise up. You can have a folded blanket under the knees if that's too much. We're just going to stretch the balls of your feet a little bit so your toes are curled under. One more deep inhale. Awesome. Okay, then take the tops of your feet into the mat. And then just think of like settling into the tops of your feet, leaning back over them just a little bit to stretch the front of your ankles. See if you could rise up, stretch the front of your ankles a little bit. As long as it doesn't hurt the knees, you could have a cushion. You could have a folded up blanket under the knees. Tighten your core, stretch the front of your ankles a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna walk our feet through. Slide down, hug your knees in, and then I just want you to pull the knees to your chest, and then you're just going to gently rock from side to side here. Side to side, let your back release. Now take one hand to each knee. In Pilates, we call this hip opener or knee stirs, where you just stir the legs inside your hip socket. Tighten your abdominal wall deeply into your spine. 7, keep spine long into mat. 6, keep pelvis stable. 5, head is away from tailbone. 4 more. And 3, and 2. Reverse. Tighten your core to your back. Little knee stirs. Stir that femur bone deeper down into the hip joint, acetabulum. 7 and 6, your core deepens to your back. 5, get those hips to release. 4 and 3, they feel safe. Those leg bones just go deeper into the socket. 2 more, and last one. All right. Next, what I want you to do here, we're gonna extend legs long. Extend arms overhead. And then we're going to do a little banana asana. Cross your right ankle over the left ankle. Take the left hand, grab your right wrist. Now what I want you to do is stretch to the left, keep your hips to the sky, and just stretch the whole right side of your spine for a moment. Hip points face upward. Soften your elbows if you like, so shoulders don't hike up. And just breathe into your ribs in all directions. Expansion. Breathing in, breathing out. Get that whole right side of your spine to stretch as you stretch left. Little lateral bend to the spine. Keeping the low back lengthened. Gently come in, uncross, arms and legs, stretch opposite directions. Just feel the space open up between rib cage, hip bones. Cross your left ankle over the right ankle. Right hand is going to grab a hold of that left wrist, and you're going to gently start to pull your body over to the right this time. You could soften your elbows so your shoulders don't hike. You're gently pulling on that left wrist over to right. Stretch left side of spine. Feel the ribs open apart. Stretch your intercostals. Feel the space at the bottom of your floating ribs before your hip bones, your pelvis begins. You're just trying to make a little length inside there. And if you hike your hip up and you have a tight QL, quadratus lumborum muscle, this is nice to try to elongate on the side of your spine and just breathe. One more deep inhale here. Gently uncross ankles, stretch fingers away from toes. Feel your core deepen into your back releases into the mat. Okay, now from here, you're just gonna turn onto your side, press up, so you're gonna stay here for 2 seconds, readjust so your blood pressure adjusts. You're gonna use your top hand, press into your mat, come up to a seated position, and then if you have a yoga mat, let's sit on, not a yoga mat, yoga block, or a folded up yoga blanket. Mine's over there in the corner, so I'm not gonna get up to get it. But if you have like a cushion or a yoga blanket in a big square, go ahead and sit on it. I think it'll help you. And this is my worst stretch. Like, I'm better at front splits than I am at a straddle. So I'm actually gonna elevate my pelvis up. So you just take your hip bones, you're gonna sit right on that yoga block. Take your sits bones right on top of it. Okay, you want to feel like you have equal weight into the bottom of your pelvis, into those sits bones. And then we're going to let one leg stretch out, kind of soften that knee. Feel that knee rotate to sky, toes face up. I kind of just shake it out a little. Okay, then we're going to take that other leg. I'm going to actually bring this a little bit forward. And then I'm going to shake this one out a little bit. Softening the knee. So you're just gonna feel like a little release all through the inner thigh. We have 3 different hamstrings, and then it's like, depending on what you do in daily life, you could have different tightness in different areas of your hamstrings, like medial, lateral, or in the center. So we have the biceps femoris, the major one, then the semitendinosus and semimembranosus. So depending on where you're tight, it could affect you differently. So it can rotate you out, rotate you in, different things. So what I want you to think of is your inner thighs are gonna rotate this way. So your femur bones rotate externally into your hip socket. And again, you don't wanna round over to get over. You wanna rise up as you sink the bottom of your sits bones into your block or your folded up blanket. And I want you to just think of your heels pushing away from you. Feel the length. And then you're going to push through the balls of your foot. So there's energy. The abdominals pull in. You elongate up. The energy is going from your pelvis down through those legs. You're extending out. And then you're going to start to hip hinge forward. Just gradually make your way forward. Just softening those knees a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out. So everybody has a different amount of space inside your hip socket. It depends on how your femur bone joins into the acetabulum and how the ball and socket form together. So don't worry, I've never been able to do a full-on straddle all the way down because I have more internal rotation where this bone goes into the socket. So it's just the way it is sometimes, how we're built. Like, each pose isn't gonna be like ideal for every single person out there. So you should never feel bad or anything. Just be okay with where you're at. I tend to find that the more somebody is loose through their hips and they can go really far and then go flat to the mat, sometimes their hamstrings will be super tight and it'll be hard for them to do flexion over the legs. So I mean, there's just different ways we bend. Once you feel a give, your knees face upwards. Just try to keep those knees facing up. Energy actively through the legs. And breathe. So we're not going to force it. We're just going to go to our edge for a little straddle pose. It's actually comfortable when you're on a block because it brings the floor up to you. Just breathe in, breathe out. Reach through the bottoms of your feet. Soften. Think of softening your eye gaze. Think of softening your jaw, your facial muscles, your mouth. Even feel the tongue and the roof of your mouth soften. Keep spine long. See if you could gently hip hinge, going a little deeper. Going a little deeper, relax your shoulders out of your ears. Feel those inner thighs. Sink those sits bones behind you and just feel those hips open. Breathing into it. As you soften and release, you'll get a deeper stretch. One more deep inhale. And slowly you're going to come back to your forearms. Slowly make your way all the way up. We're just going to reach one leg in. Bring the other leg in. Come on down off your block if you're on one. Bring your arms sideways and just try a little windshield wiper to just roll into those hips. Release your hips a little bit, okay? Maybe we'll do a little reverse table where you have your knees hip distance apart, and then you just tighten your abdominals in, and then you're just going to elevate straight up. Relax those elbows so you don't hyperextend, and just tighten your abdominal wall in. Keep collarbones wide, lift hips to sky. Feel those gluteals working. Ooh, I'm going to get a hamstring cramp if I'm not careful. Work your glutes, press through all four corners of your feet so you don't cramp up the backs of those thighs. Inhale, exhale, open shoulders, chest, and gently release down. Whew, that was close. Almost got a big hamstring cramp right back there. Shake out your legs for a moment. And then let's come into a little Baddha Konasana. Bring the bottoms of your feet. See if you can no, I don't want to do Baddha Konasana. Let's do diamond. Bring the bottoms of your feet, like soles of your feet, are going to come together. Slide your heels out a little further, maybe about a foot away from groin. And then you're just going to lift, 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 lift. Now, if you were really flexible through your pelvis and your hips, and you grabbed your big toes and the arches of your feet and rotated out, you could actually hinge straight forward, and you could actually like have your hands do this and rest your forehead down there and have a little cushion, a little pillow, and just rest your head there. And I'm not there yet, so you won't see me do that, but if you have that flexibility without forcing it, without rounding your back, you can do so. I'm just going to stay right here for diamond. Lengthen up. I'm hip hinging. Feel that low back release. Hip opener, low back release. Let's do one more deep inhale. And then slowly you're going to walk in. All right. And that's it. You did your splits. So take a deep inhale. We're going to conclude our workout tonight. Stretching upwards, lengthening spine, just sinking down to the bottom of your pelvis. And then let's just take one forearm to the mat. Do a little side stretch. Elongate that whole side. Lengthen. Hold here for a moment. Sides and neck stretch. Just open up this whole sideline for a moment. Breathing in. And exhale. We're going to come up. Stretch straight up. Lengthen. Sink into each half of your pelvis so you don't pull your hip up with you. And just really open up that whole side for a moment. Breathing in. Breathing out. Pull those ribs apart. Sink into the bottom of your pelvis. Breathing in, breathing out. Pull those ribs apart. And gently rising back up. Couple little shoulder rolls. Release shoulders back out of your ears. One more time. And just feel good that you took some time for yourself today to take care of yourself, to release, to stretch, bring blood flow to your body, bring nutrients, get rid of metabolic wastes, and just re-energize your body. Just acknowledging you're rooted and you're grounded right now. Think of Muladhara, root chakra, color red. Just ground and center yourself for whenever you need balance in your life and a little bit of peace. All right. Thanks so much for joining me. If you liked my workout, please hit like or subscribe. Help me grow my channel, and I so appreciate you. Thanks so much. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, or day whenever you catch this. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.